Hey everybody, it is Thursday here at One Life in the UK. I tell you what, I've got a very good friend of mine who's sitting right next to me. Well, it feels like it because we've been sitting on the couch talking to each other for the past 15 minutes. I'd like to welcome you all to the amazing Duncan Coker. Here he is, right next to me.
Hello, AJ. It's great to be here with you.
Thank you. So, young man, we have been sharing some great music, some great stories of charitable work. We've also been sharing some amazing things in relation to your bio, in relation to your story in music, and we are going to be talking about that later on in the show. And I'm really looking forward to tonight's show. In relation to One Life, I'm just going to quickly go and say hi to the podcast listeners out there. I hope there is some people listening live on Facebook today and also live on YouTube. So, just a couple of housewarming sort of discussions that I need to have with you all. Yes, we are still continuing our charitable month for Willen Hospice. They have sent their thanks and they've also been listening to all of our shows. So, if you're listening tonight out there, Willen, thank you very much for joining us on the show every night. In relation to the hospice itself, I spoke about this a lot last night. I'm not going to speak too much about it, but I am going to give those health warnings out there. You know, we do talk about some really difficult things during the show. And if there's anybody who needs help and support, please come to One Life. We're there for you. We may be musicians, we may be artists, but please, if you really feel that you need someone to reach out to, just send us an email, send us a message. And at the end of the day, we'll be there for you because at the end of the day, palliative care support is one of the hardest discussions we're ever going to talk about at the One Life show. In relation to AJ and One Life, I just want to give a little message out there to the community. I think I've had a couple of people ask me this question. Hey, AJ, how do you do this without earning lots of money? I'm like an artist who's unsigned. I do not earn money from this show. Okay, this is a pure show given from my heart to the musicians and to charitable causes around the world. Not one piece of money has ever come my way. I've never received any money, okay? Any money that I've given has gone straight back into local and national charities, okay? I like any artist, yes, there's going to be studio recording out there that we need to pay for. You know, there's going to be StreamYard to pay for, things like that. But in terms of money, it doesn't come my way. It really doesn't. It's not who I am and not who I would ever want to be. In terms of sponsors and things like that, yes, I would love for these shows to be sponsored, but at the end of the day, we'd probably give everything back into charity because that's what we do, So I just want to put a message out there. I've had a couple of people make suggestions lately that, to run these type of shows, we must be earning lots of money. And I'm going to speak to Duncan about his life as a musician. We don't make lots of money, especially this day and age. When we do festivals, when we do streaming on live music, unless you're hitting the big time, it's hard to get money from the music industry these days. So, I just want to reassure everybody, all of the charities that we give money to, none of the money comes to me. I always put a direct link out there. And basically, your money will be given to the charities directly. I'm not a registered charity, so I can't handle money in relation to that fact. So you will see GoFundMe's on some of the charities, depending on the artist, and you'll see a direct website link. That's what Wesson have done this month. So if you want to give to Willen down below, please go to their website. And there is a donation platform that you can give direct to Willen Hospice directly themselves, and they'd be very grateful for all the money that they receive. So I just really wanted to put that out there just to answer and reassure everybody that this is all what One Life. It is a community. It is a community for artists to talk about their music, but it's also a community for their family and friends as well to carry on watching their artists grow. Because at the end of the day, we've got to start somewhere, but we want to basically entertain you out there. We want to bring you the best records. We want to bring you the best albums, the best festivals, but we do it for the love of music. If you ask any musician out there, whether they are what they're doing it for, the biggest reason is for the love and entertainment. We would love to be multi-millionaires out there like all the other artists, but you only sometimes get those opportunities. And I think 9 times out of 10, when I've asked that question, every single one of you have come back to me and said, I do it for the love of music. I do it because actually it's a glow in that family's heart or that fan singing my music back to me. There's just something about it. That's something about that community. So, okay, I am literally going to go into the show this evening straight away. So, Duncan, welcome to the show, young man.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
You were proud, young man, from a fellow musician from Miranda.
Yeah. It was really nice of her to connect us, and I really love her music. And yeah, I find that a lot with musicians. It just seems to lead in good directions.
They do. And I think the music collaboratively in relation to One Life and the musicians in One Life, we all talk to each other daily, and we've got some great stuff between us. We've got singles coming out. If just another quick update. We've got 2 singles coming out, and that's only within 6 weeks. And we're working really hard together to bring singles out of One Life as well, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
So in relation to your bio, Nashville's dream, wanting to come into music, come into Nashville's dream. And you have been doing that. You've been regularly on radio play. You have been bringing out some great singles, some that we will play in this show later on today. You are in Colorado, is that right, in the USA?
That's right, Boulder, Colorado.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So how far between Nashville and Colorado? How far are they between them?
A long way, I guess.
A long way.
It's actually a funny story. So it brings up a little anecdote. So so they're about 2,000 miles apart. It would take you 20 hours to drive there, I guess, or a few days. But so that song, and I guess every singer-songwriter, every musician, whether you like country music or not, is sort of drawn to Nashville. It is a dream in a lot of ways. I mean, the song I think is about this character. But I think for me in real life, just being connected with Nashville, with like the songwriters there, the producers, just the whole world that kind of exists down there is a really cool thing. And I've never even been to Nashville. But on Facebook, right, it's a great place to meet musicians. There was a posting for like an open mic in Nashville. But it was like you could get like a 20-minute spot, some of the open mics. So it was, like a decent set you could play. So I signed up for it, and I told the organizer that, hey, if you put me on, I'll find a way to get there. And he was really cool. And he wanted just to have local artists. But yeah, I feel a connection to Nashville and kind of that whole history. And fortunately, I have a really cool community here in Boulder for music, and it's wonderful right here.
Fantastic.
That's all.
I love the title about Nashville Dream, and I think every country singer, there's some great country singers out of Nashville. If you talk about country music, you talk about Nashville. My sister's husband comes from Tennessee, and country music for that family, it's the biggest thing. They play it all the time. They've been always trying to get me into country music, and a couple of my songs now have gone a bit country in terms of that style of music. But it is such a great community, not just for the music, but also for the type of person. I think there's some really great.
Yeah, and it's I think like we've taken some of those like the songwriting circles. I think that kind of started in Nashville, and now it's everywhere. And we have one here in Boulder, or I was a member of one. It's just the idea that as a singer-songwriter, every week or every couple weeks, you get together with your friends, musicians, and you bring in like one song idea. And it's usually like a new one, something rough that you're ready to change and get new ideas. And you pass the guitar around, you play your song, and everyone just, talks about it, gives you feedback, tells you what's good, maybe change this verse or that. And it's a really great, I learned so much. I did that for, I don't know, maybe 8 years, and then COVID kind of interrupted it, but we're still doing it, not quite as often, but that's sort of a Nashville creation, I think. But now we do that everywhere as singer-songwriters, and like all my songwriting now, like I'll think back to that circle and be like, what would he say about it? And I would sort of ask myself, put myself through that process, and it's really helpful. And it's really supportive too as a musician to have other people to collaborate with.
Brilliant, excellent. So one of the things in your bio we were talking about, obviously, which is the biggest part of One Life, is relating to charitable support and work and community work. And I was really impressed with you, young man, in terms of the festival music that you play for a very special charity that you work for.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a bit more about that in terms of how did you find out about this charitable cause?
Yeah, I'd love to. So it's called Conscious Alliance. And it's a national group. It might even be international. And the idea is they have musicians and artists to help in festivals to raise money and food for people who in need for food that are not getting the nutrition they need. And they have all types of events. The event that I was involved with was run by my good friend named Michael Bank. And he organizes a festival right near Boulder in this town called Ward. And we play music for 3 days. And I was just one of many bands, but all the musicians volunteer. And there's just a great lineup of music. And all the money goes to a Conscious Alliance. And every dollar from the ticket sales buys 2 meals. So we raised just this summer, we just had the event in August, $10,000. So that's 20,000 meals that will go out to people in need in this country. So, and that's just fun. So, yeah, we were really excited. And it's a super fun event to play as well.
Brilliant. Do you know what? Thank you so much for everything you've done for charity. You know, I love doing this. I really genuinely love doing this. Because at the end of the day, I think we've all got so many stories to tell about the local and national charities we have for the musicians, and there's nothing more warming than seeing that final figure.
Yeah, it really. Yeah, it's very, very, really tangible too, and it just fits in with, I think, musicians. I mean, we want to connect. I mean, that's, to me, that's what a lot of music is. It's connecting with other people. And it just fits in really well with charity because you can volunteer your time and find a way to help other people and connect with them. And that's really what music's about as well.
Fantastic. How about Willen Hospice? Have you ever written a song for someone who, unfortunately you've not been able to see them for their last life, or, someone that you wanted to remember, a family member, anything like that? Have you ever done anything like that?
I haven't. That's such a hard subject to write about. I will mention one song by Jason Isbell, who I love as an artist, and I think it's called "The Elephant in the Room," and it's about someone who's struggling with cancer and may or may not make it. And I love that song. That's hard terrain to get to as a writer, but I try to. I write about emotions and loss a lot in my songwriting, so I think it's there in a lot of what I write about.
I was sitting up, and I want to share this with you. I was sitting up. I was doing writing my track for my producer, who sadly lost his life on Sunday, and I was talking to Michael Rose about sort of making music more somber. When we write tracks, we always get drawn into the facts about the hard loss of the person we love so much.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, then you need to be writing a little bit more about the somber times. I've got my fiance, South African, and she always reminds me about celebrating life, remembering the funny parts, remembering the good parts. I'm thinking, I'm going to go back and write that track before I put it out, because I think, there's so much more that I could say to him apart from missing him and missing our memories and music together and things like that. I'm thinking, I'm going to really upbeat this song a bit more because I need to do so. So I was thinking about special memories, and I think the nurses when at work at Willen Hospice do this with families very well. And I was thinking to myself about funny times, about sort of the lost journey. I was thinking about my nan last night. And I was thinking, do you know what? One of my memories of my nan was she had dementia, and I visited her in a dementia home. And when I went to visit her, and this is days before she passed, she had basically turned around to me and my mum, and she said, "Look," she goes, "I know who you are." And I said, "Yes, I'm your grandson." And she goes, "No, you're not." She goes, "I've been watching you, young man." I said, "What do you mean you've been watching me?" She said, "You're having an affair with Patricia." I'm going to tell Bill, I've been watching your hand and you seem to be holding hands very often. I have never had such a laugh in my life because
Right.
at the
So
end of the day,
it's funny. Right?
she chased me out of that hospice like with a stick, basically telling me that I was having this affair with my mother at the time. And it was just it was the funniest moment. And I'm just thinking, do you know what? Actually, anybody who's passing doesn't want us to remember the difficult
No,
heartache
not
and
at all.
pain
Yeah.
that they're going through. They want us to remember all the fun and all the good times and all the things that we used to do with each other before they become ill. And I was thinking about that a lot last night.
Yeah.
And I did look, Duncan, I did look on your Facebook page and I did see that you have written songs in memory of your friends and things like that. And at the end of the day, we do find it very difficult sometimes as artists to write things, but I think it is remembering actually, come on, let's make these things and celebrate their lives a bit more. So
Yeah. I mean, I try to do that in my writing. Like my father passed away when I was very young, when I was 11. So I think a lot of my songs have this longing, but also, I try to paint little pictures. I mean, I do have one song about a couple songs about my dad. I haven't recorded them, but they're, my positive memories about, maybe driving down a country road in an old Buick, with the windows rolled down, which we really did, or going fishing together and things like that, like trying to capture those little anecdotes. And they maybe in a verse, allude to, well, he's not here anymore, but he lives in here. That's how I try to approach.
Definitely.
Hard things.
It is hard things, and at the end of the day, I've got a whole month of this show to do in relation to Willen Hospice. And I'm thinking, do you know what? I need to upbeat everybody. I need to actually try and get everybody to think, do you know what? It's a really difficult topic, but actually, let's share some positivity about the people.
Like funny anecdotes. Yeah, the humanity. Yeah, right. I think let's define that mixture. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Well, before we play Nashville Dream, because we have got that on MP3, you have been very busy this summer, young man. You've been doing lots of festivals and bringing out lots of great singles and lots of albums. Can you tell me a few of those highlights over the last few months? What's been good for you this year, young man?
It's been great. So I released the my album in April, and we had a big release party at this venue called Roots Music Project right here in Boulder. And it's a nonprofit venue that is really set up for musicians. They do, it has a bar, but it's mainly for local musicians to play there. And we had a really great, it was pretty much sold out. And we're going to go back there in November. We have another show there, November 16th. And we played the festival I mentioned, and we've just been getting a lot of gigs. We're playing, I just played last night at a club called the Lions Lair in Denver. We're playing at another club called Roxy Broadway. So we're just getting out there in the community. People are getting to know us. It's a relatively new band. I've been sort of performing as a singer-songwriter solo for a number of years, but this band we just started this year. So we got some really good momentum. We've got a pretty full calendar.
Fantastic. And on behalf of the band, do you want to mention a little bit about the band?
Sure.
I'd love to have been here tonight, but obviously you're representing them.
So I got this wonderful guitarist named Brian Chatterkoff. He plays Telecaster, wonderful player. Katie Mintle, who's a great performer and singer, and she writes her own music, but she also sings in our band, and love having her. Marshall Hayes is our bass player, wonderful player. He's also in a couple bands. And Jim Dorschel is our drummer that keeps us all together. And it's a really great, really fun group.
Keeps you all in line, yeah?
Yeah, it's a great combination, and all these players, they've all been playing music for long before they met me. And we all sort of have, they have different projects. So it's nice besides the band. So it's nice to have just lots of different inputs. And we play mostly my music, and we do some covers too, but the arrangements are kind of up in the air. I'm like, what do you think, guys? And we can Well, I'm open to anything. I just want
free flow as we go.
Yeah.
So, in relation to Nashville's Dream, is there anything you want to say about this song anymore before we play it?
No, let's play it.
Let's play it. Here we go.
She was a singer with a Nashville dream. Lately it was harder, it seemed all the towns were starting to look the same. Felt like she was getting further away. He'd been living there all his life. She came to play on a Saturday night at closing time. They walked backstage. She looked up from a lipstick case. Rosalie flies, Rosalie sings. Rosalie's in a Nashville dream where every sorrow goes in a song. Nothing bad ever lasts too long. She's gone to a Nashville dream. She was with him every night, warming clothes by his side till she felt herself slipping away. Knew that she couldn't stay. Rosalie flies, Rosalie sings. Rosalie's in a Nashville dream where every sorrow goes in a song. Nothing bad ever lasts too long. She's gone to a Nashville dream. Always called him when she got lonely. Poured a tall drink and let the phone ring. Now she's singing on the radio about the one she should have never let go. And he's working the midnight shift like he was hers and she was his. Rosalie flies, Rosalie sings. Rosalie's in a Nashville dream where every sorrow goes in a song. Nothing bad ever lasts too long. She's gone to a Nashville dream. Rosalie cries, Rosalie sings. Rosalie cries, Rosalie sings. Rosalie cries, Rosalie sings.
Fantastic. That's your dream, everyone. What do you think? Hey, what's it like listening to your own music?
It sounded pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Were you
It
tapping?
sounded pretty good.
Yeah, were you tapping your foot for that one, AJ?
I was tapping my foot too. It was a good song. I really enjoyed
I'm really
it.
happy with that song. I gotta admit, I like the performance and the mix and that was our first single. It was actually our first recording, and it ended up sort of being the single that we released before the album.
Fantastic. Is it something that goes in your car on a trip out to the country? Do you put your own music on in the car, or do you listen to someone else?
I mix it up. I will say, it's kind of fun, because when you're recording it, we recorded it in 2023. and the whole album, like you listen to your tracks like so much, like over, like when you're doing the mix and you like hundreds of times, and then it's really refreshing to take a break for like a month or 2 months or 3 months, and then come back with sort of fresh ears and listen to your song again. And you can kind of just relax and kind of just enjoy it. And so I do that. Like I won't listen. I'll let a month go by, then I might pop it up on Spotify and listen to a track or two. And I'm like, oh, that's not bad. Or the things that I was so worked up about when I was mixing, like, oh, that cymbal is slightly too loud over there, or that, the bass line needs to change this one note out of an entire song. Now you don't even hear it. And it's weird how you need time really does. You can micromanage, I think, when you're mixing a song, and it's really good once it's done, especially. And that's why it's good to have a good producer as well. You can tell you just to chill out, the music's good. But once it's done, it's really fun to
tell me a bit more about your producer. Do you have a local producer?
Let's talk about that. So it was all recorded here in Boulder at Broadway Music Studios. And my producer and friend is named Bob Barrick, Barrick. And he's also a great musician. He has his own music out there. And we worked really well together. He helped with arrangements and just was really helpful in the whole process. We had 2 other sound engineers, Sam Dorrance and Jackson Prince. And between the 3 of them and me, that was kind of our team. And I'm really happy with the results and the whole process.
Fantastic. It's good to have a good producer on board. At the end of the day, someone who gets you, someone who knows you, I think obviously that's what's been so difficult for One Life, and why we're looking for another producer, because I think it's really hard. Once you find one and you've got them, they know your music and you make great music together, so yeah. That's
really true. I'm working with Bob already. We're going to go in the studio in October with my current band, and we're going to record 2 more singles and hope to get them out like early next year, February, March, probably 2025.
Fantastic. We're all looking forward to that.
Yeah.
In relation to life outside of music, we had a bit of a conversation before we come live on there. So for the One Life crew and also the artist friends and family, we want to congratulate you on 15 years. 15 years, it feels like a life sentence, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I have made it the half century. Yeah.
Well, it was a quarter of a century. Yeah, come on. When you get over that sort of like 30-year line, it feels a bit more like a half century. So 15 years with someone who you love very much, and she must really love you for being on the road all the time and listening to your music while she's trying to sleep. What's life like in your house?
Well, she's great. I mean, Julie and I have. She hears all my songs just musically. Like at Sundays, I'll be working on something. She'll come down. She's the first to hear everything. And there's, I have a half dozen songs where Julie's in there, in one of the characters, or we have a really, she's really close. And
I hope they're positive songs about her. I hope there's nothing negative in those songs. I hope they're quite positive.
They're all like family. Like the one song, so like Motorcycles and Sunsets is that's a love song, and it's about. It's kind of a younger version. It's maybe a couple, maybe in their early 20s or in their late 20s, early 30s, and just sort of going through life together, starting out just getting married and then having kids, and then, things change a little bit, and then, growing closer, the ups and downs and all that. So
there was a picture of you. I think it was with your youngest child saying on Facebook saying that basically you've got another musician coming up in your family. Do they like music? Are they into music?
Yeah, they both do. Yeah, they both do. Of course, they won't listen to my music, because they're rebellious teenagers. One's 17 and 15, the 2 girls. But they both have musical. My younger daughter, I think she really likes singing. She's a good singer, and she's good at piano. And they both love music. Like I listen to all types. Like I listen to Korean K-pop and like Mac Miller rap type of Kendrick Lamar. Stuff that I probably wouldn't otherwise listen to, but I enjoy it, and I get a lot out of it.
How about the family time? Part of One Life, we talk about family a lot, and we get away from the music. What do you do with the family?
they've been super supportive. I mean,
I'm getting you away from the music, Duncan, here. I'm talking about the other things. Yeah, come
family.
on. I want to know the real Duncan. Put that guitar away. Who is the real Duncan?
We like to ski. We go up to the mountains. You know, we live out in the West here, out in Colorado. So it's a real outdoorsy place. I was just out camping. I did a river trip with my younger daughter, and we floated down the Black Canyon near Gunnison. So we were out camping and fishing and doing all sort of outdoor stuff. My older daughter really loves skiing. Like, she loves the half pipe, these what do they call it, free skiing, I guess. So I'll go up and ski with her almost every weekend in the wintertime. Julie and I get away. We've been sailing, kind of. That's been one of our little fun getaways. Like just a lake, like a half hour from here, but it feels nice to have some time out in the lake, just chilling.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We talk about this as musicians a lot. We talk about the relevance of family, the relevance of our kids and things like that. We spend a long time, in the studio, a long time at music festival and things like that. We do forget ourselves sometimes, we do forget who we are as real people. And I think actually it's so important to remember ourselves as real people outside of music. And, I love finding out about people's lives.
Yeah, for sure.
When I'm on Facebook, I always just see their posts about what they're doing, what their singles are, what their albums are. I'm like, come on, guys. There's a bit more to us musicians than just singles and albums.
I definitely couldn't do this without my family. There's no way. And so that's is always there. It's kind of like in your heart. That's where you build from. And yeah, you don't really see that like on Facebook. Like you're just kind of like selling yourself. I mean, you're promoting, right? Because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get gigs. You want to get your music heard. So you have to sort of promote yourself, and it does feel a little weird, but that's just what you do. But behind the scenes, I'm really lucky. I got a wonderful family.
Good, it's lovely to hear. And you sound as though you're a lovely family. For people who do visit your Facebook page as part of checking out your music and checking who you are, you've got some lovely photos on there. It's in a great family environment, and that's reflected in your music. And there's really great soulful music. It's really enjoyable to listen to. So, in relation to this coming year, hopes and dreams for this coming year, what is in your mind? Where are we going? What are we doing?
So I mentioned I have this great band. We're like seasoned now. We've been playing a lot, so we're going to go into the studio and we're going to record 2 singles. I think that's going to go really cool because we're like together. We've been playing together, so I think it's going to come across that way when we do the recording. And we're just gigging. We're playing a lot of shows in Denver. I like it's a bigger city. It's only maybe 40 minutes from here, but there's more venues. I have one particular show on November 16th. I'll mention that. It's going to be back at this Roots Music project, and I'm going to be playing with Sarah Adams, who's another really great artist that I respect a lot, and we're going to be doing a ticketed show together, and that's coming up. And we got a bunch of other gigs before and after then, so we're
you sound really busy.
Yeah, we are.
Busy, yeah.
We are. We're super busy. I speak for the whole band. I think we have a lot of fun, and we just really love playing out there.
Yeah, it's lovely to hear. Right, in relation to your next track, we're getting a bit carried away. We're nearly at the end of the show. I saw a good link there. So in terms of Carried Away, tell me a bit about this song before we play this song, because it's going to be your last song before we say goodbye to the lovely audience.
Yeah, so this is it's just the ups and downs of a relationship. It's a little bit about, having maybe a little fight and then making up, and it's about relationships. They're sometimes a little chaotic, but at the end of the day, you come back and there's love there, and so it's kind of all those things in this song.
Fantastic. Okay, let's play the song. Let's have another song for you.
It takes more to drive me away. We both know in that stone let's go. Love so hard that it aches. We can't go and we can't stay. We get carried away. You won't come to me tonight, but you hate to be alone. Driving up and down the boulevard drains everything I own. The sun's up in the valley, the rain's still on the pavement. You're still wearing last night's dress. But I ain't jealous yet, no darling. You throw rocks at my window. It takes more to drive me away. We both know in that stone let's go. Love so hard that it aches. We can't go and we can't stay. You say I make you crazy, we do the same. Till we fall into a long embrace. We get carried away, carried away, carried away, carried away.
Duncan, you definitely got my foot tapping on that one. I think under the table, I was like, yeah, I love that song. You got a good voice, young man. I really enjoy your voice.
Yeah.
It's really great. The guitar playing, is that all you? Or is that someone else playing?
I had a great guitar player, so I'm doing the rhythm sort of in the background. That's Charlie Rose did all the pedal steel and the electric guitar on that. He's a wonderful musician, lives here in Lyons, which is a town over. He also plays for a band called Elephant Revival, which is pretty big. I think they might have even toured in Europe. And anyway, he did some great playing there.
Fantastic, really good song. So for those people who can't see you on a live or festival, where can they see your music?
Yeah, so it's Duncan Coker, Coker music. That's the on Instagram or Facebook, or we have my own webpage as well. So you can find me out there.
Brilliant. And we will get this show out to everybody live this evening. Is there any special thanks that you want to give to people? It's a good opportunity to say thank you to friends and family and all those who support your music. Is there any special thank yous you want to give on tonight's show?
Just I guess to my wife, Julie. Give her a special kiss and a hug.
Oh, that's lovely. Fantastic. Yeah. I'm sure she'll be doing it straight back to you after hearing this. You know, I think every time I do this, everybody goes straight to their producer, straight to their fans and things like that. And I think every time I go off a show, my partner goes, "You never mention me."
Right.
You never mention me. You're not getting your dinner tonight.
Yeah.
So it's lovely that you bring your partner to it. So in relation to saying goodnight to everybody, we have got a bit of a gap, but we are coming back live and proud with a Mission Road on Saturday at 7. Okay, so you got a bit of a break. You've only got a day's break. But if you want to listen to the great music from the artists, I do promise the artists, and I've got to update the list today. That's perhaps something I'm going to do tonight with your music. And we're going to put your music over into the YouTube playlist, and everybody can listen to the great musicians that we have here on One Life on our playlist while you're waiting for the next live show. So it's been a great show. I've really enjoyed it. Duncan Coker, thank you so much for joining us live in the UK. And it's been absolutely amazing to meet you.
Thanks,
And in relation to everybody else, keep yourself safe out there, especially if you're in the UK. It's getting a bit droll and miserable when it comes to the rain at the moment. Remember, we're always here for you in One Life. If you ever want to come and see us, come and see what we're up to, check out the pages. All of our artists are very busy. They're putting videos up there. They're putting music up there. They're selling live tickets. Everything's on there. So friends and family, please join in the fun. It's not just for artists. We want you to have a good time, okay? So this is AJ signing off from the UK, and I'm sure we'll see Duncan Coker very, very soon because we're going to catch up with him in the next few months. We're going to bring him back on the show and see what he's been up to. So I'm going to give him a round of applause on your behalf. And we're going to say goodnight to him. Okay, good night, Duncan. See you again soon.
Thank you, AJ. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me.